Good morning to those who listen. It's April 24th, 2022, 11:37 a.m. And I pray that I can say the right words in this live stream. I made it private because in case, I had to start over or something. Anyway, things weren't going so good yesterday, and I was getting ready to go to work, and then a bunch of people called me. And one of them was the guy that's in jail. He wanted me to go check on his dog because he didn't hear from the lady that was taking care of him. She wasn't answering the phone, so he was really worried about the dog, something happening to the dog. So that was one thing I did. And then my mom called, which, I haven't talked to her in a while, so I, took some time to talk to her. And then I was, I kept pushing my time back so I would could get everything done. And then I went to check on the dog. The dog was fine. The woman was just sick, and her phone was dead. And she said she was just sleeping a lot, so that was why she didn't answer the phone. But then the guy in jail, which I found out some more stuff about that. But anyway, by the time I wound up getting ready to finally get to actually work, they blocked me from working. It was, I guess I missed my time slot. So I figured I would call a friend, and I said, "Hey, how's it going? How's your day going, and everything?" And and then the person they said, "How's your day going?" And I was just saying how crazy my morning was. And then there was a fire truck that was blocking the road, and people had to go around the fire truck. Well, when it was my turn to go around the fire truck, I was, halfway there, but then the car turned around the corner and it looked like they weren't going to stop. And I was like, whoa, 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 I got the right of way. But I guess the person thought I was talking to them. But I was like, no, no, no. It was just this truck was in the way. And, somebody was coming at me. And then as I was getting close to my house, I said, I might have to put you on hold or call you back because this guy might be calling me from jail and I need to tell him what's going on with his dog. And then the person said, okay, bye, and just hung up. And I was like, what? I said, if he called. So then a few minutes later, I called back and I said, I'm sorry, but you must have misunderstood me. Uh, that was if he called, and then the person, uh, I don't know, it was weird. It was the person just seemed really evil. And, I don't want to say the person is evil, just it went right to my soul, and I didn't know what to say. It was just like, how come every time you get on the phone, the first thing you do is tell me about all your problems? And I was like, I wasn't telling you about my problems. I was just telling you what was going on in the morning. And when I got back right before, I told the person I might have to get another phone call. I said, my day's been crazy, and the other person would have went crazy. And I said, thank God I got God, because everything's getting better in my life slowly. But then when I called back, it was like the person turned into a different person, and all I could do it would to me it was just the what the person said was so it just went right into me. It just seemed so evil, and all I could think of doing was hanging up. And I told the person, that every time I call this person, I always say, "Hey, how are you doing? How's your day going?" I don't start with problems, and I never start with problems. And if I did mention them, it was just to update what was going on. I didn't think that they would take it personally, but anyway, um, I don't know. I couldn't get that feeling out of my system. I didn't make any videos or anything yesterday. I wanted to just kind of, you know, let things go and see what happens, But I didn't know. Maybe I was thinking afterwards. Maybe, is that how people see me? And I don't want people to see me as somebody that's just complaining all the time. That's why for a long time, for like over a month, I didn't say nothing because I don't want to tell people my problems all the time. So I don't want people to think that's me. So I was supposed to go to church today. I didn't because I felt guilty. I thought, if I went there and then the pastor was going to introduce me to singles, I didn't want somebody else to think the same thing that this other person thought of me. So and then I saw this thing about Hillsong, how they're corrupt now. All these Hillsong churches are corrupt. And then I thought, well, here I just saw Michael W. Smith, and he sang some songs with Hillsong. I don't think he was involved with them. I don't think he's part of the scandal or anything. But I thought, if any church, if they're playing, singing those songs that they had, some of those songs are so beautiful, and they seem like they're just, perfect worship songs. But maybe they're, if they're not, and I don't know, I just felt like if I go to church, am I going to church or am I going to worship the devil? And I don't know. So I didn't know. I felt guilty. I didn't want to go to church because I didn't want to. I don't know. It's just a lot of weird stuff. And then I found out too that the girl that blocked me on Facebook and said I'm all this evil and all this for making the police report against my ex-friend. She called and talked to my sister and said that I'm the one who called and turned him in. I never did that. She was the one who contacted me to let me know he was in jail. So I don't know where that came from, but I got all these people talking behind my back saying all this stuff about me that isn't true. All I did was file the police report to cover myself because he used my name as an alias. And I didn't want the police to come after me saying, hey, you did all the stuff that he did, but he used my name for. Another reason I didn't go to church is I got this like rash on my neck. I don't know if it's because we got into the 80s yesterday and it was hot in the house. But usually like if I shave, I'll get a rash if it gets hot, if I start sweating. But I don't know. It's usually if once, because I haven't shaved in, I don't know, 5 days, 4 days. And usually, even if it gets hot, I'm fine, unless I just shaved. Then I'll get like a rash or something. So I don't know. I'm thinking about, if I do videos, just to have them all positive, all, some Bible verses, encouragement, stuff like that, and just never say anything bad about anything that's happening bad in my life. It's probably going to be hard because there's always so much stuff happening in my life. But I don't want people to think that I'm just here to complain about things. And, when bad things happen, there's been a lot of bad things that's happened in my life. But I've always trusted God to get me through it all. And, I've said many times that, things are going to get better. I don't know. So I'm just going to try to be positive. And see, the thing is, some people might say, well, then you're holding all the bad stuff inside. Well, I'm just going to give it to God, and there's, I got a few people in my life that I can kind of talk to about it that actually understand and know, the type of person I am. And when I'm telling people about stuff that's happening in my life, I'm not complaining about it. Sure, I might be, but I'm not like trying to to say, oh, hey, I'm the one going through all this bad stuff, and what was me and stuff like that. No. See, how do I even talk about this? So I don't know, but I don't know. I just felt so bad, and then it made me think. Is that how people see me? And I don't want people to see me as this guy that's just complaining about his life all the time. That's what God's there for. He's there to take away all the bad stuff. And I don't want to be holding everything inside, because that's what happened. I didn't put any videos out, anything, about what was going on, because I didn't want people to think that, here, I'm always complaining about stuff. But I think we need to, vent sometimes. Of, things happen. But if I ever say any, thing that's bad, it's not on you. I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying, hey, look at me. I'm having all these problems. You know, I don't know. Does any of this make sense? I'm hoping it kind of makes sense, but I'm just going to try to totally be positive and never have any negative things on here. You know, People ask how my life's going. I'm just going to have to be truthful and say, some things are going bad, but, don't worry. God's got control over it. And then just not say all the bad stuff that happened. I'll just say, there's bad stuff that happened, but don't worry. What else can I say? I don't know. And then, I'm thinking about just not even trying to get a girlfriend. I felt guilty. I felt, if I went to church and then I was introduced to people, how would they see me? And I don't want people to, think bad about me, and then to also think that, that they're wasting their time with somebody that, that's not right for them. And then I felt bad because of the Hillsong thing. If they're having worship songs that are including their songs, then that's evil. That's bad. And they might not even realize what they're doing. But do I want to be part of that too? What's God think about that? Because I know, if some churches are singing these songs, I don't think they're doing it on purpose. To be part of the scandal, to be part of the sinning of what they were doing, the Hillsong Church. So I don't know. I don't know if I promised somebody I would try my hardest to go to church next week, and I will. But I don't think I'm gonna try to, get into a singles club or anything. I think I'm just going to go to church and just worship God, and that's it. You know, I really think that I'm not meant to have anybody. That God doesn't want me to have a girl, so that's I'm just going to let it be at that. I think by now, if I was going to meet somebody 9 years, would have found somebody by now. But I don't know. If there's somebody, then I'll try. I'm not going to pray for it no more. I'm just going to pray for God's will. I'm not going to pray for a girl. I'm not going to do that no more. And I'm sorry if anybody out there is getting a negative vibe from all this. Just know that from now on, I'm not going to talk about my problems at all. I'm not going to talk about the bad things that are happening. It used to be, I talk about the bad things, and then I would have, later on, God delivered me from this. God helped me out of this. Everything's getting better. That was the whole kind of the purpose of having talking about the bad things that happened, so I can have later on the victory reports from how things got better. There was a lot of bad stuff that was going on here and a lot of backstabbing friends. But I also said that, it's getting better. The people are gone now and things are improving. I'm sorry if anybody ever thought, listen to this guy, he's always complaining. I'm sorry if you think that I don't want to come across as somebody that's always complaining. And I've always said that God's in control. I'm going through all this stuff, but there's a reason, and it's just going to get better. But I've had somebody that's commenting that said, well, if God's in control, then why is your life in shambles? And your life is always bad, bad, bad. And that made me think that I don't want people to think that too, that either that there is no God, or that God doesn't care about me, or doesn't you know just wants me to keep going through hardships. And I don't want people to think that why would God do that? God must not be who he says he is if he's putting people through all this misery and stuff. So I don't want people to think that either. God, you know most, I wouldn't say most, a lot of people in my situation going through the same things, they probably would have gave up. And there's been times where I wanted to give up, but I know God is there. I know God is faithful, and we're only going to be here a little bit longer, and then all this bad stuff will be gone. So that's what my faith is. I have faith, from the Bible saying that we have to go through this, and then in the end, we'll be rewarded. So I have to have faith, and I don't want to give up now, and I don't want anybody to give up. But I can understand, if people are going through all the stuff all the time, and then praying and begging God to help them through it, and then they don't seem to get their answers, that they would give up. And if people see that, they're going to say, well, there's no God, or God doesn't care. And I don't want that to happen either. So that's why I want to have these victories, so I can say, hey, look, God got me through this. So I don't know how to say this. Please, Yeshua, give me the words to say to explain this. I just want people to know that, no matter what happens, no matter how much bad stuff happens, God is always there. God will help you through things. And it might not be the way that you want them to happen. You might be going through stuff, and you don't get the answer that you want, but you're going to get the answer that's God's will. And I'm going to say it over and over. Just let God have control of your life, and just pray that you're doing God's will. Pray to God, God, please let me just do your will. Whatever it is, wherever you want me to go, whatever you want me to do, I will do it. And you can't go wrong. You might go through hardships, and we know we're in the ends, in the end days, we're supposed to be going through more hardships. So don't give up. Don't give up. There's been so many times I wanted to give up. Just know that God's always there. And if you pray, just for God's will, then no matter what, everything will work out according to plan. It might not be your plans and what you want, but it'll be God's plan and God's work. So that's what I always pray. I always pray, just Lord, just let me do your will. Whatever it is that you want me to do, I will do it. And you can't go wrong. I'm still wondering what I'm supposed to be doing still now. I mean, I think that YouTube was part of it. I think I'm supposed to be here to help people, but a lot of people say, well, how can you help other people when you can't even help yourself? You can, you're going through all these problems. How can you help people? I'm not trying to help people in that way. I'm trying to lead people to God. I'm trying to lead people to God's will. So if anything, just pray, pray, and just try to do your best to stay on the straight and narrow path. And nobody's perfect. Everybody has problems. Everybody sins. But if you're trying your best, God knows your heart. And that's the main thing. There's so much out there. So many people trying to say that this is the right way, this is the truth, this is that, and all we can do is pray for discernment. And there was one person that was commenting on the Michael W. Smith and saying that that's a false Holy Spirit you're feeling. And if it is, then there's no hope. Because I've been saved. I've been born again since April 78, 44 years now. I had a lot of backsliding years, and I rededicated my life 5 years ago and got baptized 5 years ago. And I've been trying my hardest this whole time to stay on that straight and narrow, and I've strayed here and there too. But if you try and you give your life and you just want to do God's will, you're on the right track. You're at least on the right track. Just keep on that path and try to find like-minded people. That's one of my problems is I don't have very many people in my life that believe. It makes it really hard. I got more people on YouTube that believe the same, kind of the same basic beliefs and stuff that I believe than I do in real life. Than all the people I know. I don't know. Now I'm kind of just going on, so I'm going to end it. But long story short, I guess, just trust God, do God's will, and just try your best to be as sinless as possible. And you're gonna sin. Everybody sins. Just ask for forgiveness. God knows your heart. God knows your intentions. And you might say certain things. But if your heart is, in your mind, you're not. Then you're not. But and it doesn't matter. You can fool everybody in the world, but God knows your heart and your intentions. All right. Just know that I love each and every one of you, no matter what. No matter what. And just know that just do God's will, and God bless each and every one of you, and I just hope that we can stay on the straight and narrow, and we can find the truth, and we can discern the truth. We can discern the good from the evil. I love you guys. God bless, and I'm just going to try to totally stay positive and not talk about things that are going on. When I talk about things that are going on, I'm not doing it to complain. I'm not doing it to badmouth God or anything. It was there just to tell you what's going on. I didn't think it was a bad thing just to let people know what was going on, because then there's victory in it afterwards. If this thing's going wrong and then it gets fixed, all praise and glory to God. But I don't want people to get the wrong idea A lot of people have. A lot. And I don't want that. I don't want people to think of me that way. The one person, uh, the ex-wife of the guy that went to jail, we were friends. We were friends almost as long as my other friend, and we're talking back in the 80s. And she just suddenly turned on me, and it was weird, like I was some really evil person. And all I did was file a police report to protect my name. I didn't turn them in. And then for her to go, behind my back and tell other people that I called and turned them in was just evil. And, she was the one who told me he was in jail. I didn't put him in jail. A lot of people told me I should, though, but I never, I wouldn't do that to somebody. I knew he was going to wind up going eventually anyway because he kept doing bad things. But I just didn't want to have any part of it. So I had him out of my life. And this other guy too, got him out of my life. I'm not going to turn him into jail. I don't know. Well, anyway, I'm just trying to do my best. I'm trying, and everybody just try to do your best. I don't know what else to say. I've already said it. So take this as you may, but just know that, if I'm in the past, when I told you guys things that were bad that was happening, I wasn't putting it on you as, it's your problem too now. I just wanted to explain what was going on. Everybody has bad stuff that's going on. Is it so bad to share that? I think it helps to share because it's like a venting. If you build it up inside you, it's just going to get worse. But I guess some people see it certain ways, so you got to be careful, I guess. And now we're in the end days. People are going to really look for ways to tear down the Christians. So I guess try not to let it get to you. It's hard. It's hard. But God's there. God's there. He's always there. And He's always going to help you. Even when you seem like there's nobody there. Because lots of times I think, God, are you really there? But He's there. And, He's shown Himself in so many different aspects of my life, so many situations that have happened over the years, that He's saved me from so many things. He's there. I wish I could explain it better how how I know God's there and how He's you know interjecting in with things in my life. All right, I love you guys. God bless. Have a good Sunday and have a good week, and I'll try just to have the encouragements, the Bible verses, positivity, everything positive. I'm not gonna say anything. If I say anything, I'll just say, yeah, there's something going on, but God's in control. That way, I don't want people to think, oh, this guy just complains about everything. God's not doing. I don't want people to think he's having all these problems, but God ain't doing nothing. God's doesn't care, or God's not a lot. There is no God, so I don't want people to think that. So there you go. I guess God's there, and but I want to have more positivity things so I can say, look, this is what God did. That had to be God. There's been so many times where that's happened in the past where it absolutely had to be God. So that's the only thing. I might say, hey, okay, I'm just going to say generically, oh yeah, there's a certain thing that's going wrong in my life. Don't worry, God's in control. He's going to take care of it. So that's all I'll say. I'm going to try to just be totally positive and not be negative. And I just want to have nothing but good things to say. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Sorry I kind of rambled on there because it's 30 minutes. Wow. All right. Sorry. Love you guys. God bless.